Hey there, Skeleton Key here. Welcome, or welcome back to my channel. And yes, this is Skeleton Key and Friends, and my friends will be here shortly. They went to see the corpse flower Cosmo over at the university campus today, and so they're just making their way back to a screen so they can join in. So let's see, and yeah, when they get back, I've got some news reports I can show, and they may have photos to share. We'll see. But and also, if you are joining me live, feel free to hop into the chat, and we're going to be talking about various things today, mostly mysterious and chaotic books, as the Mysterious Mayhem Readathon is drawing to a close this week. So just kind of getting some last minute suggestions in for short reads, and also, talking about the books that we've really enjoyed that are on theme. And, Corpse Flower, that's totally on theme. So, but they should be arriving before very long. But, and also if you are watching this on replay, there is the comment section. So you can go in there and comment about anything. So, in the meantime, while we're waiting, one thing I had hoped to be able to do today was sort of work on a recipe for a zombie beverage, because in addition to being Mysterious Mayhem this month, it is Zombie Awareness Month. And so, Mysterious Mayhem goes along very well with Zombie-thon over at Kat's Novel Adventures. Kat is running that. And so I thought, well, one of the prompts there is to have a zombie-themed snack or beverage. And I don't drink much alcohol anymore because I'm old and I have to take my meds. So, yay. But I thought, well, let's see if I can get some fake booze and make a fake zombie. And I ordered some stuff online. It wasn't looking good because most of the vendors were quoting me June delivery dates. It's like, well, that doesn't work for Mayhem. But I did have some success, not complete success, ordering through Amazon. Unfortunately, one of the key ingredients they didn't send. They sent, instead of the spiced dark rum alternative, they sent raspberry. And I'm like, I mean, that might work in it as an addition. I don't know, but I need spiced rum. So hopefully I will be able to source something. Oh, and I also forgot to buy pineapple juice. So, yeah. And that's kind of necessary. I was like, well, maybe we've got like some pineapple soda or something. No, we don't even have that. So I have to go shopping to get pineapple juice, and hopefully I can find something that will work for the spiced rum that is pretty much required, I think, for a zombie. And we'll see. In the meantime, today I am going to try one of the fake rums that I did receive yesterday. And this is Monday. And if you saw the short I did yesterday, this is the one that was in the box. This is Monday. This is 0 alcohol rum. But it's not spiced. So I don't know. But I did, and one of the things that a bunch of the reviews were telling me was that don't expect it to taste like rum. It's a spirit. It's a 0 alcohol spirit, but it's kind of, it takes the place of rum in certain recipes, but it's still not rum. So I don't know what that means. So I do still have a tiny, tiny little smidgen of Kraken. And so, and it's not that I can't drink alcohol. It's just that I have several meds that each one by itself, it's like, well, if you drink, just be really careful. And I'm thinking with that many that say, if you drink, just be really careful, I should be really, really super careful. But I figure this is a very tiny amount, and I probably won't even taste all. I'm just going to take a taste just to see, remind myself, because it's been years since I've had rum. Just to see, remind myself what rum actually tastes like. This is black spiced rum, so it's not going to taste like this. It's very unfortunate that I do not have the actual fake spiced rum that I ordered. I'm really kind of salty about that. Let's see. I brought an assortment of shot glasses up here. So let's see. The first one, this is Kansas City Jazz. I'm going to go to Kansas City later next month. Probably next month sometime. Okay. So this is the Kraken. How much? Let's just do a taste. Smell it. And it smells spicy. Oh, yeah. Oh, I should have brought crackers or something to cleanse the palate. Can you tell? I used to work in a wine shop. No, seriously. I was a licensed bartender and everything. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, they're having internet issues. So hopefully they can get that resolved. Okay, so they're rebooting. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. Okay, that's real rum. Let's see, for the fake rum, what do we got here? Got the mint in Winnipeg. I should save that for some mint schnapps or something. And then, let's see, we got Glacier National Park. Ooh, Time Traveler. That's at Silver Dollar City. And I did not write it, but yeah, it had all these warnings. It's like, if you have back problems or hip problems, it's like, I have all the problems. So do not write this. So I did not write it. Okay. So let's see what Monday tastes like. And this is too big for my hand. So I need both hands to pour this. And getting it everywhere. Hello!
Made it!
Yay!
The internet was briefly not cooperating.
It's good to see you. So how was Cosmo?
Cosmo was good. Not very stinky, though.
Yeah,
Really?
most of the smell was yesterday, apparently.
Oh, wow. So I maybe even could have managed it. I don't know. Oh, I mean, the lilac bush. The HOA replaced one of our trees in the front yard with a lilac bush. And so that thing stinks to high heaven. So
those are strong. I didn't really smell anything. So
Yeah. Oh wow.
They were saying that like the peak stink was yesterday around 7 in the morning, and it smelled
Oh.
like old cheese and dead mice.
Oh.
Yeah, so just
Oh.
use your imagination.
Yeah. Oh man.
yeah, it doesn't last super long. Like the bloom part was already kind of like shriveling back up.
Wow.
Joe was
Oh,
making me watch like videos, like time lapse videos of a bunch of them from all over the world. So
yeah.
like it knows how they're. And she was mad because she wanted to wait when we got there. She's like she wanted to wait for it to fall over, and I'm like, baby, that can take days. She's like, don't care.
Funny. All right. So I am testing out my fake booze. At least the
Ooh.
this is. I'll put the stopper back on so I don't spill any more than I already have. This is Monday brand 0 alcohol rum, and it's yeah. So I just tasted. I had a little smidgen of Kraken left, so I tried that, and it's pretty stout. And so then I just tried this, and it tastes like water.
Oh, good.
Okay. Well, interesting. It tastes like I don't well, there's a little bit of flavor coming through now. But yeah, it doesn't taste like rum. And that's all of the reviews I read said this one's the best, but none of them actually taste like rum. So I'm like, okay, it's the best at not I don't know what that means.
Could you just like drink some cooking molasses? Because that's just kind of always what I thought. Like
Yeah,
alcohol.
I do have molasses, and this apparently has molasses in it. It's like, um, it's like homeopathic molasses, I think.
Like they put it in the same room as the molasses for a
Yeah.
little while.
I think so. And maybe they hit it with the magic stick. So I don't know. Maybe that's it. They forgot to hit it with the magic stick.
Mm.
So, but anyway, oh, I should probably update your. Can I do that from here? I'm not sure I can. Oh, here we go. Display name. Hey, C and Caitlin. So welcome. Glad to have you back. Oh, Brian is bringing me crackers. Let's do the saltines. Thank you. Okay. Oh, these. All right. I don't need graham crackers. Thank you. Then anyway, yeah, I was needing a palate cleanser after the Kraken, but apparently not. So, but Brian brought me club crackers and saltines, so just in case I need them. But yeah, so when I go to make my fake zombie, I was explaining earlier that I can't make my fake zombies yet because I was going to do that today, but I can't make them yet because I forgot to buy pineapple juice. And apparently that is a key ingredient in the zombie, fake or otherwise. And also Amazon sent me, instead of spiced rum, they sent me raspberry blend.
Those are not the same thing.
They are very much not the same thing. So, and I'm waiting.
Raspberry is not a spice.
Yeah, and all they will tell me is I can't return. It's not a returnable item. It's like, I'm not asking you to let me return it. I'm asking you to refund my money and
send
me the right thing. So, yeah, but it's Amazon. So, who knows? I may just have to learn to like raspberry blend 0 proof spirit or whatever it is.
I mean, raspberry is not a bad flavor.
Yeah, but it's just
But
it's not
you can't
spiced.
really replace spiced rum with it, but
Right,
you do something
right.
else with it.
Yeah, so I've got to come up with something to be spiced rum, and I don't know, maybe I'll just go buy another bottle of Kraken and just say, okay, well, let's just hope it doesn't kill me. So,
That would be good. I have
yeah.
a mason jar in my kitchen of
Mhm.
rum that just has like masking tape and a label that says spiced rum on it because my mom had gotten some giant thing of rum as like a prize for something. And so she gave my sister and I both like a mason jar full of it to take. But all she wrote on the label, like I have no idea what it is. All I know is it says spiced rum and handwritten. It looks like moonshine or something.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's fine. I put it in stuff sometimes. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. So so I'll come up with something by Thursday. I'm doing a reading and productivity sprints thing.
Hmm.
And so that's when I had originally planned to do it anyway. So I've just got to get pineapple juice and something approximating spiced rum. So, because apparently you're supposed to have like 3 different kinds of rum. And I did get did send me the white rum.
Mm.
Um, and that's a different brand. I forget what, Liars, I think. And then Liars also has, they had something, because a lot of recipes called for like triple sec or something like that.
Mm.
And so I got this orange flavored liquor kind of stuff, and we'll see if that approximates like orange, I don't know, triple sec or Grand Marnier or anything. But yeah, fun times. But yeah, they as far as I can tell so far, they do not have the zero proof thing handled. Okay, so we're here mostly to talk about our mysterious mayhem reads, either books that we've enjoyed that fit the prompts, or short reads that we can recommend to people who are still looking for something to fit a prompt really quick. So um, let's see. I'll just toss out one that I am about halfway through, simply because I take a long time um, with graphic novels and comics, because of the visual and the text and everything, and my brain doesn't like to put them together on the first pass. But that is Dead Boy Detectives. And so they're ghosts. I thought they were zombies. Somehow I got the idea they were zombies, zombie detectives, but they're ghost detectives, which makes a lot more sense. Because how sneaky can you be if you
As a
smoke?
zombie,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, for detecting. But I'm about halfway through that, and it's really cute. Um, and a little, I like the cat. The cat is awesome. And but that's a pretty short read. For most people, I'm sure it would go very quickly. So that's a ghost. So that fits the first prompt of undead character. So I don't know. What all have you come up with as far as undead characters or books with maps or things like that?
Well, was one of Trickster, I think you said, was one of
Yeah,
them.
a trickster character.
So, speaking of graphic novels, I've been rereading Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, which towards the end of this volume has a plot arc involving Loki, which
Ah,
is very fun. Um, it's been a while since I've read this run, and rereading it, I'm like, oh my god, I forgot how good this is. Like, it's so good. I always love Erica Henderson's art. Like, I have somewhere behind me, I have like Danger and Other Unknown Risks, which was an indie one that they did together, her and Ryan North, who also wrote this one. I also have her Dracula Mother Effer book back there somewhere. Like, I'm always sold on Erica Henderson art, and it's such a good match for the writing in this book. Like, it's just so good. It's so funny. It's so cute. I love it so much. I needed to read a comic that would make me happy because I'm very frustrated with other comics right now. I was like, no, I need to read something good that reminds me that good comics exist. So yeah, it's it's only one arc of it, but like, it's very funny. It involves Thor or Loki giving himself a giant cat head with a little tiny Thor helmet on it for reasons that I will not explain.
Okay.
He does it, and then actual Thor is very annoyed with it and keeps asking him to stop. And he's like, "What are you talking about? This is my head now. This is what I look like." It's great.
I think your shirt goes well with one of the prompts, wasn't it? Like double agents or like characters pretending to be things they're not.
Agent Provocateur, yeah.
Yes, Agent Provocateur.
I can't read it. What does it say?
It says, "I was replaced by a scroll, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt."
That's great.
Which is, it's in Unbeatable Wasp, or Unstoppable Wasp, I think. Oops, I messed him up. Unstoppable Wasp. There's a character in the background in a scene who's got a shirt that says this, and I thought it was funny, so I made one.
Oh man, I should have worn my power couple T-shirt. You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Your
power couple T-shirt.
Yeah, I should have worn
been
that.
great for that. Brian could have done a cameo.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, instead I did, I don't know, tie-dye because it's kind of chaotic. But
yeah.
I have you can't tell from here, but I've got little boat wheels all over my dress. And my 3-year-old is really into SpongeBob right now, and she calls this my nautical nonsense dress, which is great.
Funny. So, did you want to talk about something, a book, Caitlin?
For the zombie thing, I'll go ahead and do a book that I would not have read if not for you two, which was from our last live stream. I did read one of the ones you recommended, which was The Stupidest Angel by Michael Moore. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Christopher Moore. Thank you. Sorry.
That'd be a very different book.
Wow. Oh boy. Yup. Yep, it's The Stupidest Angel, a heartwarming tale of Christmas terror. So that definitely has zombies in it. That was my favorite part of the book. And it's zombies that want to go to IKEA. So that's one of the lines is like, first we feast, then IKEA. So I don't know whether to recommend that one or not is the thing, because it's like I read a book with Stina years ago by Christopher Moore, not Michael Moore, called Sacre Bleu. And I remember liking it at the time, but like now reading his style, it's like snark turned up 1,000% is a lot of it. And then also it's like, he's the horniest writer I think I've ever encountered. Like when people talk about like, like the jokes online about like she breasted boobily down the stairs, like that's like every chapter all the time, and it's a lot. So like it took me a while to get through because like it was very rare that I was actually in the right mood where it's like I can tolerate this. A lot of times I would pick it up and I'm like, no, not today.
I'm trying to remember. I think the only one of his I've read was, what's it called? A Dirty Job, the death one.
Yeah, I have that, but I haven't read it yet.
I don't remember it being super horny, but it's also about a kid a lot. So it would make sense if that one wasn't as much on that, because it's like him and his daughter. So it would make sense that it's not, it might have had some, but I don't think it was nearly that bad. Probably because it's about like a father-daughter relationship. And that would be super weird if it was.
God, thank God for that.
I could be wrong. It's been like a decade. I could be misremembering. Maybe I just blocked out all of that, but I don't think it was.
Yeah, it's really hard going back because I hadn't actually remembered that about the zombie book. Which one was it? The Stupidest Angel. I had when you reminded me, I was like, oh yeah. yeah, that's a pretty horny book. But also it's like being reminded of things that I read like back in the 80s, like Piers Anthony.
Oh
And I'm
God.
like, I was a teenager reading this. It's like, oh, this is funny. It's, you know, all sorts of puns and fantasy and magic, and everyone's like, it's pedophilia.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and
There's a
also like sexual assault and
yeah,
grossness, and
yeah,
yep. I
and
did a lot of that in high school
misogyny
too.
and yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and then you know, I go back and somebody like posted the first like few paragraphs of the first Xanth book, and it was like, oh yeah, I didn't remember that. Like,
I will say this definitely is not Piers Anthony level ick. Um, but like it's just like a lot of it was like, dude, calm down. Like, focus,
yeah,
Christopher Moore, focus. He's focused on something.
you know, yeah. But yeah, that's definitely one. Let's see, a good short one, and I was reading um for the character using an alias prompt. I was going to read "Is He Dead," which is a play Mark Twain wrote, and then David Ives kind of um, edited it down for a modern audience because I guess it was like 3 really long acts. You know, he ended up cutting like 100 pages from it to make it to where a modern audience could sit still long enough for it. But it's a really funny play and everything. I just never actually read the entire play, and now I can't find it. And it's only like 100 pages long. And somewhere in that 100 pages, I don't know if I put it in a purse or a tote bag to take it somewhere and read it in a waiting room or something, but I can't find it. I don't know where it is. But if you're looking for a short, something short, and you can get a hold of Is He Dead? It's really funny, and it's a farce, so it goes really fast. Let's see, any others that you want to talk about?
I'm trying to think of other short. Undead, I was just thinking about. I remembered Vespertine is on our book club list,
Oh
which
yeah.
I'm super excited about. That was like one of my top 3 books I read last year. I loved it. It's not zombies, it's like ghosts, kind of, sort of. I don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited. I'm always torn because on the one hand, like I like doing book club and reading new stuff that I haven't read and that I maybe wouldn't read otherwise. But I'm also really excited to talk about one that I really, really loved. So I hope other people will like it too. But that was really good. It's not a short read, it's a full novel, but like I went through it pretty fast. It's not a like struggle to read. It's pretty breezy in terms of like, you know, the pace moves pretty quickly. Um, Featuring, yeah, ghosts and things,
Ooh.
and undead spirits, and people being forced to share a physical being with some creepy undead spirit. Things sharing bodies. My laptop is currently propped on my Venomnibus giant Venom collection that I
Oh
got for my
yeah.
birthday. Things sharing bodies is kind of my jam. Yeah.
Cool.
Aliases, I've got so many superhero
Ooh. Yeah.
so
So
many superhero comics.
what do you want to recommend? Anything?
Oh man, it's hard because it's always like, oh, this one's great, but you kind of need like the background of who these
Mm.
characters are because they're not gonna tell you. So I'm trying to. I always let me see. Do I have anything that's like easy to just jump into? Oh, I read Catwoman Lonely City recently,
Oh yeah.
which is kind of a alternate universe future story. So it takes place in kind of its own little continuity. It's not like it's still
Okay.
using Batman characters. So like, you know, it's got Catwoman and like Riddler's in there Killer Croc is in there, but it kind of exists in its own little bubble of like this potential future. So it's not really referencing big plot stuff. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I love the art for it. A friend of mine is like a huge Catwoman fan and had
Yeah.
recommended that one. So that one was a lot of fun, and I think is relatively accessible if you're not deep in the Batman brain rot like I am. What else do I have?
I might look for that one because that's my thing is like I'll pick up something and it says like volume 1, issue 1, and I'm like, okay, but volume 1 of what?
Well, and now, so in the last like, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, because they've been doing all of these like soft reboot, reset nonsense things. Like, for example, if you're trying to read, say, Detective Comics, which is, something that's been running since 1937, they're on issue 100 or 1086, I forget. Anyway, over 1,000. So you get like, okay, so you want the collections, and they've gotten better about actually putting everything in a collection, because some of the older ones were just kind of like floating loose in the ether and they never got put anywhere. But because of all the reboot things, what they've been doing is like every time a new person takes over as the writer, it's a new volume 1. So for both Batman and Detective Comics, there's like 4, and Nightwing, there's like 4 volume 1s floating around just from the last like since Flashpoint, and it's like, it's not impossible to figure out, but it definitely, volume 1 doesn't necessarily mean like this is the start of the story, which is difficult if you're trying to like get into it. I always kind of, my thing for comics is like, for a lot of them at some point you have to kind of just dive in and like go on the wiki and try and figure it out, because at this point it's like there's just so much, and modern comics don't do what the older ones did as much with having like the little editorial boxes about telling you where this other thing happened. Sometimes they do, but a lot of times they don't, so you have to kind of just roll with it or look it up. I was trying to think of other ones I have that are like, you don't need to know. Oh, I can talk about. Hang on, I got to shift so I can grab it because it's right behind me.
This is convenient. This seating is so convenient. You need to move your chair. Help.
Okay. As I make lots of noise. I can talk about my brushes.
But before you start, can you internet me so that I can look up something I wanted to? Sorry.
If I can remember. Uh-oh. I think that's it. Okay. If it doesn't work, let me know. We'll figure it out.
Oh,
did it not go?
No.
Let me.
If you trust me, I can also use your phone. I can look something up.
Okay. I don't care.
Sorry.
Okay, so I talked about Descender before, which is Justin Nguyen and Jeff Lemire, and one of their Batman ones was this one, Robin and Batman. So it's got Nguyen's art, the watercolor that I love and adore with all of my heart that they did for Descender and Ascender. But it's focused on Dick as Robin, so it's like a flashback one. But it's, again, relatively self-contained. It's like a version of, a backstory, because there's 800 million of them at this point. But it's short. It's only 3 issues. It was a mini series that they did, but it's beautiful, and I love the writing, and I love it so much. And it's like all of the bits of canon that I'm like, yeah, that's the one that I like. That's the version that I prefer. It's like they took all of those and put them into one story, and I'm like, I'm right. I feel vindicated.
Yay.
So, I think it's really cool and really pretty and really sweet, and just to me, a really good version of these characters that are like, oh, this is the version that in my head exists. So definitely recommended. Like a little bit of familiarity, but not beyond like, Batman, parents died, came a hero, blah, blah, blah. There's not like a lot of, it's not tied into anything else again. So I think it's pretty easy to just read on its own and not have to know anything else.
I do like the watercolor cover art.
It's
Yeah.
so
that is
pretty. No,
really
the whole
pretty.
thing looks like that.
That's gorgeous.
Wow.
The whole thing is this watercolor, and it's gorgeous. Yeah.
Nice.
It's so pretty.
Ooh.
The whole thing, just like Descender, the whole
Nice.
thing looks like that, and it's like,
Cool.
so yes, another artist where every time I'm like, I mean, if you put that artist on it, I'll probably read it. Like,
Yeah, that being able to kind of get in on it, you know, and know where I am. That's why I was so happy to find that Star Wars one, the Destiny Path. And you know, I was looking at it and it's like, oh my gosh, it starts at the end of The Empire Strikes Back. And it's like, you know, Han and Luke and Leia, and I'm like, oh yay, I know where this is. I know what's going. And yeah,
I don't
so
have to do homework to find out what's
yes,
going on in the first
yes,
issue.
because you know, with all of the, you know, the first trilogy, I watched all of the, you know, episodes 1 through 3, and I was like, yeah, those are okay, I guess. And then I started to watch when episode, what is it, 4, 5, 6, 7 came out, and you know, then I started to watch, but I hadn't been keeping up with all of the canon stuff all through the years. So I was like, who are these people? What?
Yeah, there's a lot of it now. Well, and it doesn't help that Disney pulled a DC and did like a whole split, because then most of the stuff I know of the like expanded or extended universe is from when I was a kid reading the Star Wars database before Wikipedia exists, because I'm old. And so I read a lot of like extended universe stuff that then when Disney bought it, they like wiped all of its legends and its variably canon. Sometimes they'll pull from it still, but most of it is like explicitly not canon anymore. So it's like, okay, so all the stuff I knew doesn't exist anymore. So I am unhelpful, just like with DC, where I'm like, I don't know, that sounds like a New 52 thing, and I stopped reading around then. So
No.
and then I came back, and sometimes I regret it. But yeah, it's hard when it's those big giant franchise things. You know, I feel like it's Star Wars especially, because they've had so many like TV shows and stuff that they did that all and then there were comics and novels, and it's just like there's so much.
Yeah.
It's also so much spread out over time too, because like at least like I don't know, at least like MCU, which I follow, at least it's sort of like, hey, you really only have to go back to like 2008 if you really want to go into that world. But like Star Wars, it's like back to the 70s, and then like you've got movies, novels, everything. So it's just a lot. It's a lot.
It may or may not contradict itself somewhere.
Yeah.
Because one writer decided to do one thing and everyone else went, no.
Yeah. I'm told Rebecca Roanhorse's novel, Star Wars novel, is actually one that can be read as a standalone. So
I wanted to read that one just because, I mean, I really liked her Trail of Lightning and Storm of Lucas Black Sun. That's the one. I was like, Black Star? No, that's not right.
I haven't I have Black Sun. I haven't read it yet. And Trail of Lightning is one with a trickster character too.
I love Trail of Lightning. I need to reread that. I really liked that book. But yeah, I did want to read her Star Wars one because I like her writing. So it seemed like, but then I got kind of burnt out on Star Wars because
Oh, and the
coyote. I like the idea of the coyote character as it's a good trickster animal. Yeah.
And the that Star Wars comic, volume 1, the Destiny Path, that one does have, and now it's very brief and doesn't really have much to do with the larger story, but there is a character using an alias. Oh, I mean, also there's Darth Vader, so that counts. But there is a very minor character with a little cameo, but he's using an alias. So that one counts, and it's short, it's quick, and if you've watched The Empire Strikes Back, you're in a good spot.
Good.
That's the good level of like, you've seen the movie, you're good to go.
Yep.
That's cool. We're good.
Did you have something, Caitlin?
I did look up. I had an Alias book I wanted to talk about that I thought would be really fun, and I wanted to look up an excerpt to read. So there's an author named Margaret Killjoy that I just recently discovered that I'm loving sharing with everybody because it's she writes good short story, like not short stories, but like novellas. We've been talking about in a book club how it's hard to get the timing right. But one of the books I read by her that got me into that was called Escape from Incel Island. And just it's a super short, pulpy as heck, like great. It's just great. But for the Alias, I'll go ahead and just read you, a little excerpt from that. They don't call me Man Killer Jones for nothing. They call me Man Killer Jones because I tell people that's my name, and I kind of throw a fit if anyone calls me anything else. Honestly, if you're feeling, most people call me Shirley behind my back, or Mix Jones if they're feeling formal. It doesn't bother me too much what people call me, because I'm never around to hear it. I'm always too busy infiltrating and exfiltrating the deadliest places on Earth. War and disaster would be my middle name if I hadn't already legally changed my middle name to Danger.
That's amazing.
Yep. So now that I gave you a little bit of a taste, that's definitely that's a lot of the fun there. It's there's definitely like pulpiness mixed with some big self-awareness and other stuff like that. So the plot, just to give a little bit of context, the idea of Escape from Incel Island is that it's a sort of speculative fiction book where like violence, coming from like disaffected men has reached, a peak in the United States. And so a lot of the powers that be have created an island. It's sort of like like advertised as like a libertarian paradise. So like angry incel men, it's like they're promised like a free woman by the government if they go there, and then they're trapped on this island. So it's just this island full of some of like the stinkiest, most terrible, annoying, and they have little cliques on the island. There's like, there's the incels, but then there's the ones that are like the voluntary ones that think they're better than everybody else, and like it's just a lot. It's a lot.
Is there a clique of nice guys?
Yes.
Ooh.
There very much are like the nice guys on there. That's
the capital N nice guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty great.
Yeah, it's like sometimes in mystery novels, it's like, and it's not even, like one of them was a steampunk novel, but as soon as this guy was introduced and everyone was talking about what a nice guy he was, and I was like, he's the killer.
Yep.
And I was right. I was like, yep.
That's the problem with watching and reading too many like Agatha Christie books and like British murder mysteries. It's like, well, yeah, it's never the like weirdo, creepy guy who everyone thinks is a murderer. Like it's gonna turn out that he's, it's Home Alone where he's just the lonely man next door and he's totally fine, and it's some other dude who's like, the guy who was super friendly and helpful is like secretly the killer.
Yeah.
I remember I was in a skeptics group when I first moved to Colorado, and like one of the field trips we had is there was like an investigator, like a local investigator who like we met with and asked questions, and like, we asked him kind of like one of his like the biggest like kind of I'm not wording very well. It's like, what's the thing that surprises you about your job? And he's like, yeah, I feel like media, like there's been too many like mystery, like the idea of it's like the person you least suspect. It's like, more often than not, when you do any kind of criminal investigations, that's exactly who you would expect. Like, really, a lot of people aren't very smart when they, by and large, there are a few criminal masterminds out there, but the vast majority of people are not very smart when they do their crimes. And it's exactly as you'd expect.
The shifty guy who looks like he's hiding something is probably actually just shifty and hiding something.
Yep. It's not a plot twist. Mystery novels and movies have ruined us all.
I know, but now the mystery novelists are trying to come up with all these bizarre plot twists, or plot twist. It's like right, boom, 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 and it's like, no, Riley Sager, just stop it.
But then you get the thing we talked about with our was that mimicking of unknown successes? Was that the Jupiter
Oh,
Sherlock
yeah.
Holmes book?
Oh yeah.
Where
Yeah.
like one of my things that annoyed me about it is it did the thing that I don't like when books do it, or movies that are supposed to be mystery book stories do, where they just don't tell you information and then have it be a big reveal at the end. It's
Yeah.
like, well, that's not a plot twist. That's just you as the author hiding things. Like
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
you dropping hints, and then if you're clever you can put it together. I feel like there's a thing, I've talked to some other people about this. It's, I've read about it with regard to the MCU specifically, where they were like only giving people like a page of script at a time because they were trying to hide what was happening because they didn't want spoilers, and doing a thing where like if people guess what's going to happen in your show, you have to rewrite it because you have to be a surprise. That's more important than telling a solid story. And I feel like that's related to the thing of like there's this, people don't want a clever reader to be able to figure out your plot twist,
Yeah.
but that's not the point. Like, it shouldn't be blaringly obvious. But the whole point of foreshadowing and all of that is that if you're paying attention, if you're being clever, you can follow it and be like, oh, I know what's going to happen. It's been foreshadowed. It's been set
Yeah.
up. And then you get the payoff of being like, yes, I was right. That's exactly. And like, maybe it doesn't happen exactly how you said, but I feel like that's
But
part
yeah.
of the like fun of reading stories like that, is where you can be like, oh look, like there's this little hint and this little hint, and I think this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then when it does, you're like, yes. And people are like allergic to that now. They view it as like a failure of storytelling if
I
your
know.
audience can guess what's gonna happen. Like,
I know. It's like, well, I was asking an author one time, because I read her book and I was impressed because the character, as soon as the character was introduced, I was just in, and it wasn't, oh, he's such a nice guy kind of thing, but there were very subtle cues that it's like, keep an eye on this guy. He's not what he seems. And sure enough, later find out, yeah, he did it. He was the murderer. And I asked her how, I was complimenting her. It's like, wow, you really got that in there without me even being able to point at something and say, that's the clue. I just felt it. How did you do that? And she's like, apologetic. I'm like, no, that was a good thing.
yeah.
Do you guys remember Lost, the TV show? How like
Yeah.
in the beginning, like, because it was this big mystery, and at some
Yeah.
point somebody posited, like, what if they're really all in purgatory? And the writer was
You're
like,
like,
no, that's not what we're doing. And
Definitely not
definitely
that.
not. And then like, the show got more and more elaborate. And I remember somebody came up with this amazing theory, and my brother and I were really into it. And it was like this like complicated, like somebody had been paying attention to all the time travel things, and it was super, super great. And then like, we followed it for 6 seasons, and then at the end it was like, yeah, actually.
So it turns out
it was purgatory. Yeah. It was like, why did you do this?
I know. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, that's wild. Because yeah, like if you can successfully, that what you were talking about with like subtle hints where it's not one big glaring red flag where you're like, this makes me suspicious. It's just like a vibe. It's like, that's really cool to be able to write that to where you can have that subtlety and still have someone be like, I don't know, man, something. And it means the person's paying attention. Like, they're engaged with what you've written, so that they're picking up on these little things to be like, wait a minute. They're not just breezing through, they're thinking about it, or they're really engaging with it to feel that subtlety. And yeah, it's just wild to me that there's this whole thing of you failed as a storyteller if you don't completely shock. But then what you end up with is, nonsense plot twists where it's like, this doesn't make any sense though. Like, it's shocking because it's nonsense.
Yeah. That's so, yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty fair assessment. And I liked a mimicking of known successes. I really liked that, but
I enjoyed it.
Those are fair criticisms, and But yeah, I still enjoyed it. It was.
I just wish it hadn't been presented to me as a mystery story.
Yeah.
Because then I feel like it annoyed me because of that. I liked like the writing I enjoyed while I was reading it. The setting was a really cool idea. But then yeah, the reveal I was like, "Oh, you did the cheap lazy thing that I don't think mystery stories should do and you called this a mystery story."
Yeah.
It's like on, Great British Bake Off where they're like, it's fine if your cookie is, soft instead of crunchy, as long as you don't tell me that it's supposed to be crunchy before I take a bite of it.
Right. Like if it's
similar
supposed to snap,
thing.
it has to snap.
Right. Like if you tell me it's a mystery story, or like our last book we read, Mountain in the Sea, where
No
the
spoilers, I
blurb was
haven't
like,
finished it yet.
just the fact that they
Okay.
were like, it's a thriller, and it's not. It's not a thriller at all. But that's like the first thing on the little blurb on Goodreads is it's like a thrilling story of. So I'm expecting like a thriller, and then it wasn't.
Okay, but that's when they didn't say it was a thriller. It's a thrilling story.
Okay, no wait. I'm gonna actually look at what
you should be thrilled. So like you chose to interpret that way.
I'm gonna look at exactly what it said.
Okay,
because I am pretty sure. Where is it? A near future thriller about the nature of consciousness.
Never mind.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah,
not a thriller.
Yeah, there is a lot of mismarketing. It's like, sometimes I'll read a book and I'm like, this would be a great book for its intended audience, which is not me because it was marketed to me under false pretenses. Like,
which is crazy because it's like you're failing to draw in the people who actually would want to read it, and also making it so people who think they want to read it then do and are just disappointed because it's not what they wanted. Right. It's like you're really just failing on all fronts as a marketer, I feel like.
Yeah. And then recently I read one book that I don't know if it was marketed as a rom-com or not, but anyway, but it had, the cover and everything had all of these rom-com vibes to it. And then you get into it and it's not even it's not romance, it's not funny. It was actually pretty depressing. It's like there's this, I'm not going to say what the book title is because there's because this is a spoiler, that it's basically about a character dying of cancer. And it's like, this is not a rom-com. And so
light and funny rom-com.
A meet cute at the infusion center.
And and it's
hilarity ensues.
And based on the first part, the first few chapters, you're kind of expecting a meet cute at some point because it kind of sets up that, this is basically the main character is a premonition. That she's with a different guy. And I don't know, it just, it was a pretty good book for the right reader, but I'd be very surprised if the right readers were getting it.
Yeah.
That should have been one of your categories, like trickster character, zombie,
trickster
and
book.
And then, trickster book, trickster bait and switch.
Bait and switch book.
Oh, in that case, I could count Love Debugged. Oh my god, I was just looking for a short. It was on the bonus borrows, I think, for Hoopla, and I was just going through, and how, I don't know, I think it's the Kindle Unlimited effect, where they have to get all the keywords into the title. So the subtitle is an enemies to lovers romance, blah blah blah, and so the subtitle is the genre and the tropes, and which annoys me no end, but apparently Kindle Unlimited people really like that because that's all they're looking for is specific tropes. It's like, I want enemies to, but it wasn't enemies
Kindle
to lovers.
Just needs tags like AO3, and then you can filter.
Yeah, but it was just straight up erotica with barely any plot, with a bunch of technobabble. It was about this like guy who invented an app and then his head programmer, and they weren't enemies at all. And then it was just them working together on a project and deciding, she's like, oh, but he's a playboy, I can't fall for him. And that was it. That's the
enemies to lovers.
Okay.
Yeah. And then but then she's like, oh, but he makes me hot, so I'm gonna bang him. And it's just straight up erotica.
Here's my pitch. Here's my pitch. Christopher Moore writes a technical manual.
It would have more plot.
You gotta have a bunch of like techno sex puns though. Like, yeah. that has to be part of it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Your USB-C cord is so rare. I haven't seen one of these in a while. I'm so excited about it.
something floppy disk.
Yeah.
Like.
I mean, the computer industry is pretty. And oh gosh, I've been ignoring comments. I've been on the wrong screen. Okay, so Brian says, I read Barehead by Adrian Tchaikovsky recently. A character shares headspace with a semi-dead, uplifted bear. So there's one for you.
On my list. I like Adrian Tchaikovsky, so
too.
Sorry, Brian, I was not meaning to ignore you. And he says it's sequel to Dogs of War.
Okay.
Category defies expectations wrongly.
Okay. I like that. Defies expectations negative.
That sounds like one of those like describe what you do badly, like your job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that makes sense. Because you get the one. I assume. Yeah.
Oh, you said that was commentary on the banter topic, not about Barehead. Okay, so what we? Yeah,
I figured.
All right.
I like that though, because usually
defies expectations.
It defies expectations to mean like it's gone above and beyond. I like it defies expectations poorly. Or it's like, it went that way, and I was expecting, and we just.
Oh, City of Brass.
Oh, did not like.
We were on the not fans side.
Yeah. The unpopular opinion, because apparently everybody loves that series, but it's just like, I wanted to stay in Cairo and watch her, like fleecing.
You've got the makings of a good trickster scammer character, and let's just make her like a same cookie cutter lawful good YA heroine.
And a genie who also I think was probably intended to be a trickster character. Aren't genies usually kind of tricksterish?
I feel like it's like
in most stories, that's the whole thing of like when you make a wish and it, the malicious genie screws it up.
I feel like narcissist love interest character is not so much a trickster as like an energy drain, like
an energy vampire.
Yeah, not the same thing. Don't want to read about that.
That one might be better as like a series, because I remember part of my frustration with it personally is that it was a million years long, and like we got to the end and it had just barely started to set up more story stuff. Like.
Yeah.
Very little happened, and then it was the end, and they're like, and now into the real story, and I was like, or not. Like, nope. You wrote 600 pages of backstory that I don't care about with characters I didn't particularly like or care about, and now you want me to. Yeah. I don't really remember much about it. I just remember texting Steven a lot, being like, oh my God, this isn't good. And him being like, no, it's not. So.
But fortunately for Shannon Chakraborty, a lot of people really loved it. And so I've heard that, what was it, The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi? I think that's the title. I've heard that's pretty good.
Okay.
With pirates, so. I have no idea if it qualifies for any of the prompts, but I'm sure it's mysterious and chaotic in some fashion. So I'm sure it would count for the overall theme.
I need someone else I know to read it first because I read the author once and wasn't impressed, so I'm hesitant to pick up another one. Is this also part 1 of 3 where you're not actually going to end your story? 'Cause...
Yeah. I think I may have downloaded it. Maybe. I think it was on sale or something. Which...
I feel like I've seen it cross my Goodreads dash a couple times, but yeah, I have so many things to read. It's hard to like pick one up that I'm like, I've tried this author before and didn't really care for it. Let's use some of my valuable reading time to give them another go. Like,
life is too short.
Yeah. So Brian says poorly, much better than wrongly. So yeah. So defies expectations poorly.
Yes. I expected it to be. I mean, really, that could just mean I expected it to be good and it wasn't, but like shockingly bad.
True.
That's, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of those out there. Like, I wanted you to be good. It's the, what is it, the Tyra Banks meme where she's like, we were all rooting for you.
Do you remember that book Autonomous from years ago?
Yes.
That one, like, it had such promise. Like, it's like got all the ingredients of everything I want in a story and somehow doesn't please. It's like robot massacre at Tim Hortons, underwater, like submarines full of
like
pharmaceutical
submarine
pirates.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and again, it's just all it is a horny grad student. It's not really even a pirate character. But that was also like this, like, you know, like swashbuckling pirate. It's like, no.
Yeah.
So that was that Annalee Nevitz?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Some people really liked it.
I think Brian really liked it.
Will Wheaton liked it. That's like one of the few times Will Wheaton ever steered me wrong, and I haven't forgotten it.
Yeah. Like people love it, and I read it and was just not impressed, disappointed. There was a lot of things where I was like, this is
confused.
I don't like this at all. Like I actively disliked huge parts of it. It was just kind of, yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, Brian, you read that one, right? I think. Do I remember you liking it? I think you liked it. He probably doesn't remember.
It sounded so cool,
right?
But then I did not enjoy it, unfortunately.
And I think I still have it on my bookshelf.
I'm sorry.
I'll have to look and see. Even had cool cover art too.
It had such cool cover art in
there. It was, what was it called again? It was Autonomous. And I'm trying to think where my copy is.
I think I did the library.
I may have put it.
Good for you.
I may have taken it down to the lair. Or it could still be upstairs somewhere. I don't know.
I mostly do the library nowadays, partly because I do audiobooks a lot because of commuting, but also because I've gotten bit too many times by book club books where I'm like, I don't want this on my shelf, and I'm mad I paid money for it. So,
yeah, I do have.
Now I just use the library, and if I really love it, then I can go buy it.
Yeah.
And if you don't love it, you can draw dicks in it.
No, it's a library book.
I mean, I would do that. I'm just saying, like, you know, some people
who are definitely not
do that.
Might do that.
Not in the library.
We are not condoning this behavior. Just to be clear.
In my own book, I would absolutely draw nasty things in the margins,
but if you're borrowing a library book, no.
I saw like an online poll at one point that my friend sent me that was like, is it okay to write in a library book? And a shocking number of people were like, yeah, no, it's totally fine. Like, I want people to read my comments. I'm like, I don't want to read your comments. I want to read the book. If I want your comments, I'll track you down on Goodreads. I was shocked. It wasn't the majority, but it was a significant proportion. Way more than I would have ever expected. Because there's always like it's never 100. It's never 0 on anything. There's always like a couple people being contrary. But
what do you think the Venn diagram between people that write in library books, like comments in library books, and people that stick their gum under tables, like
100%.
What do you, yeah,
That's a circle.
That's a circle. Okay, yeah.
Or just spit it out on the sidewalk.
It definitely
autonomous by
reeks of
enemy
main
notes.
character syndrome.
Yeah, so he says good, but definitely not her best work. Well, what is her best work? I've never. Oh no, I have read nonfiction by her.
Okay. Yeah, was that her debut? Was Autonomous her debut novel?
I think so.
I want to say yes, but I don't remember. Another one where, like, I know she's written other stuff, but because I was so unimpressed with the first one, I just never.
Yeah. The one I read, it was like 4 cities or something like that, and it was about 4 supposedly missing cities, and her point was no, they're still there, and they still have people, but and I think she was kind of poking fun at the whole concept of white people discovering these lost cities, and like they weren't
ancient
lost.
aliens.
This lost city that is populated and has been here this whole time.
Yeah, and I guess it's things like, I think there was one in Peru, I believe, but that as if you don't really dig into the topic, the conventional wisdom or the pop culture references all act like the white explorers came in and it was abandoned, and it's like no, there were people living there. I can't remember if it was I don't think it was like the big one in Peru. I've got everything all scrambled up in my brain now. But anyway. But we should probably get back to talking about the did you have any other books for the prompts? I have a bunch, but I've talked about them probably a lot already on other live streams. So yeah, if you guys have others that you want to talk about.
Scrolling through my read things, trying to remember if I have anything. God, I have so many comic books.
See, I'm going to share my screen because I got an email yesterday. Apparently yesterday was Vampire Day.
Oh. Last week was World Goth Day.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I asked one of my students who works at Hot Topic if they did anything special. He's just like, no, I just glared at people. I'm like,
that's the most goth way to celebrate.
Perfect.
Okay. Oh, here, I did bring up the
corpse flower. Look at that. It's Cosmo. Hi, Cosmo. We love you.
Let's see.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you can see it's bloomed, but maybe kind of wilting already. And there's
more curled up.
There's the line. Was the line that long today?
No, it was. I mean, we were in line for maybe
20,
maybe half an hour. It wasn't
20
super,
to 30.
It wasn't super bad.
Sunday was probably a little bit more.
I think yesterday was mostly.
Steven scared me because when he posted about it, it was like, look, this is like Neil Gaiman level lines.
Yeah, the thing I saw said an hour and a half, which is why I was a little worried about Josie. I was like, ooh, I don't know if she wants to stand in line that long.
I didn't figure Monday would be though as bad because like Sunday, it's more people are gonna have Sunday off than today.
Yeah.
So it worked out okay.
Oh, Brian says Autonomous was their first novel, so fair enough. Okay. Or does Annalie Nevitz use they pronouns, or were you just, or I don't know. I was not aware of the author's pronouns. So I don't know. But let's see. So yeah, this is
that was also years ago too. So like, who knows?
Yeah, their pronouns could have changed. Who knows? How about some fang fiction? But okay, so Death Warmed Over is a zombie PI. Ooh. Kevin J. Anderson.
So that is like you thought Dead Boy Detective would be.
Yeah. Okay. Driving Mr. Dead. Stuffy Vampire. New site. And Molly Harper. I'm not familiar with Molly Harper. Kevin J. Anderson. I think I've met Kevin J. Anderson at a Mile High Con or something, but I don't know if I've read any Kevin J. Anderson. But Kevin J. Anderson is also one of those names that sounds like a lot of other author names.
Yeah.
So I could be mistaken. Oh, here we go. Wikipedia says Nevitz has used singular they pronouns since 2019.
Oh, okay.
Did not know that. Good to know.
I remember how long ago, like what year it was I read Autonomous too. Like
it had to be like 2017 for me.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
It was pre-pandemic. I know that.
It was also I went to a different job, so it had to be like late 2016, early 2017. So,
thank you for looking that up, Brian.
Yeah,
it came out in 2017. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think I remember like reading it pretty soon after it came out too, because I've heard a lot of the hype about it. I was real excited.
Yeah.
Okay, so nice girls don't bite their neighbors. Oh, so here's a bunch of Molly Harper. Okay, so sexy, hilariously fun. So, but I like it when the cover actually matches. It's like if that had a cartoon cover, I would probably be really pissed.
I enjoy the titles; those are fun.
Yeah, where the wild things fight. But yeah, I like it when the cover actually represents what is inside the book.
No trickster covers.
Yeah. Maybe that, okay, so that should be a category for a prompt for next year. Trickster covers.
Trickster covers. We can have some fun. We can have some fun with that.
Yeah. Having covers that don't match what's inside.
Or like don't match the tone, like tonally don't match.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I really don't like seeing these cutesy cartoon covers and then it's like, no, this is porn.
It would be super.
Yeah, that's weird.
It'd be fun if we could get somebody who's in like the publishing industry to maybe like guest star on that one to like maybe explain some of like the marketing decisions or probable marketing decisions behind some of what we're looking at.
Yeah, watched a video. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about complaints that readers have, and one of them was, it's like, it takes so long for the paperback to come out. It's like, okay, that's not just like an annoying trend. That's just how the industry does it to make money.
Been the case.
Yeah, it's like that's numbers, baby.
Does Sex, Lies, and Vampires have a character that looks like James Spader in it, like a young James Spader? I might be about that.
Is one winner of a paranormal delight, uniting a beautiful, flawed charmer with a capital C with a disgraced dark one, capital D, capital O, doomed for betraying his own kind.
Does the disgraced charmer have like crisp New England diction? Like 80s bad.
I think he can if you want him to.
I think he can. I think he can in my head canon. Okay.
Well, there you go. These deals all expire 5/27. So, and it looks like they're available across a wide variety of things. So, and I'm not sponsored by Better World, or what is it? Early Bird Books. I am not sponsored. So, just take this as for whatever it's worth to you. I don't know how long or short these are, if you can get them in before the end of the month, but if it turns out that, Nice Girls Don't Bite Their Neighbors has 0 spice in it, you can use it as a trickster cover for next year.
Oh, you got about, okay, here, let's get, yeah.
Where is it? That's the question. There it is. See, I organized my stuff, and now I can actually find things.
That's wonderful.
Isn't it great? Except I have to do it again because I have to make room for Ven Omnibus on here somewhere.
Let's rate the cover art.
Oh,
Let's check it out.
oh, hang on. Okay, I was just gonna say real quick, Nettle and Bone, animated skeletons. Or
Yes.
skeletons.
That's on our list.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. If you want a
let me stop
vampire,
this
speaking of Erica Henderson, this is her and Alex DeCampi did a vampire book. It's a lot of fun. The art is very cool. It's a little less like her Squirrel Girl art is a little more cartoony because it's a very silly story. This is a little more like Assassination, which I also love, which is very violent and full of gore. This isn't quite as violent, but it does have I mean, it's vampires. There's a lot of blood, as you'd expect. But it's a very cool book, and it's pretty short. I mean, you can see how thin it is. It's a pretty short graphic novel. So, yeah, if you want a vampire book, there's another more Erica Henderson. Read Erica Henderson stuff because I love her art and it's gorgeous.
And Carrie Vaughn does write some books with vampires in them. Oh, Gail Carriger. I never can remember. Is it Carriger or Carriger? I've met her on several occasions. And I've actually heard her introduce herself several times, and I still don't remember. But anyway, she writes like the Parasol Protectorate and a bunch of steampunky stuff. But she's got like vampires and werewolves and and then I think there's like one book has sort of a automaton kind of creature. I'm not sure how to describe that one. It's been so long since I read it, but sort of animated, not animated skeletons exactly, but animated, I guess, robots with animus. Does that sound sort of, I don't know. I'm explaining this very badly. But yeah, if you want some steampunk, there's a lot of steampunk with like, undead creatures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's like a Frankenstein influence.
Yeah.
That like creating creatures, undead stuff, drawing from like the Frankenstein tradition of the laboratory is very steampunky kind of old school science sort of thing.
And stick a gear on it.
Huh?
Take Frankenstein's monster and stick a gear on him.
Yeah.
And dress him in brown.
I feel like steampunk takes a lot of influence it takes a lot of influence from like the Victorian kind of aesthetic, which that era of like science where it's like science, I'm gonna see what happens when I drink this thing. Well,
the Industrial Revolution just kind of amped everything up, and it's kind of interesting to see which steampunk stories or universes have magic at their core and which really try to make it science fiction-y as opposed to fantasy.
Colleen, if you ever get back into Red Dead Redemption 2, there's a Frankenstein's monster side quest, and it's just
I never got that far.
It's so good.
Oh,
it's start to finish. It's a delight.
I don't even remember where I ended. It's been so many years since I played that game.
You ended with giving Arthur Morgan the worst facial hair and haircut combination you possibly could.
No, I started the game giving him the worst haircut.
You got straight out of
You
got straight out of Coulter into Valentine, and you're like, I'm going straight to the barbershop. Not even going to do a main mission. I'm going to have the worst.
Yep.
Worst
second
haircut.
The game was like, hey, did you know you can change what his hair and beard look like? I gave him just the dumbest possible facial hair. I think he had giant sideburns and then like no chin, like no beard part, and like a really thin, like sparse mustache.
It's like the opposite of a soul patch. It's like everything but that.
Yeah. It looked awful. It looked so stupid.
Pencil mustache and mutton chops.
It wasn't a pencil. It was just like I gave him the mustache,
like
but
a teenager mustache.
You can control. You can set the level of like hair growth. So the sideburns, I was like maximum, and then the mustache, I was like, it's like stubble. It's like barely there. But then nothing, clean shaven on the chin, so it looks real stupid.
I remember your picture of it. It was a delight.
I shouldn't be allowed to have control of what characters look like in games.
Oh, let's see. The pirate discussion made me think of Pirate Freedom by Gene Wolfe.
I want to read something by Gene Wolfe. I've had so many people recommend that author to me that I think maybe it's time for me to.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Gene Wolfe. I know we have Pirate Freedom. We've got the Unexpected Guest or the Uninvited Guest or something like that. I think that's Gene Wolfe.
All right. I've got like a few of his things in my to-do read list, and I don't know why I never get to it, but
I have a whole house full of TBR.
That's this one next to me is all TBR. And then most of the red ones are upstairs, and then the comic bookshelf has at this point taken over everything but the bottom shelf, but I have to shuffle again because I have 2 giant Venom ones to stick on here somehow, and I have nowhere to put them.
You know, the therapy I got for that is that like I had a big, to read thing on my bookshelves, and it was really disorganized, and my brother came in when he visited and like reorganized all of my bookshelves. He's like, I don't know what you read and haven't read, but this is nonsense. You're gonna get some order to this. And like, I got to admit, it's a lot better now. Like I don't know where books are, but it looks better for everybody else.
They're very organized. This is the to read shelf, and they're in alphabetical order by title, or if it's multiple, by like the first title in the series. And then behind me is comics, and those are by title. Well, they're by DC, Marvel, Indie, but then within that, they're by just title, because apparently some insane people organize them by author. Like, I know that's how the library works, but it drives me nuts because it's like there's been 7 authors on this run. This is not helpful.
That would take a lot of memory space.
For comics, I don't think that's a helpful way to do it. It's like, no, I don't really need it separated across the 4 or 5 people who wrote on Robin back in the day. I would like to just have the whole run together.
I got you that one.
Yes. That involves undead.
Yeah, it does. We could round this out with a children's book.
The Antarctic Express.
Ooh.
Polar Express, but it's the thing.
Great.
That's perfect.
Not the thing. It's Mountains of Madness. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
It's Mountains of Madness.
I was going to say, wait, undead.
Lovecraft. I remember seeing this and being like, "Yep, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas."
It's great.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's the story of At the Mountains of Madness,
and
but
the art, like,
Polar Express.
If I could show you, like, it's like if you've read the original book, it apes a lot lot of the art in that. Like the really fascist looking picture of Santa, around the elves. Okay, seriously, the Polar Express. There's a lot of books that I think, children's books that I think promote fascism with the art, and the original Polar Express, read it for yourself, but it's like that kind of salute thing that they've got.
I don't remember that at all, but I haven't read Polar Express since I was like,
I've never read it, so now, yeah.
Live stream things. I actually have an idea for
creepy Shaga.
I want to do like my Caitlin's conspiracy theories thing, where like I'm going to take all of the books, like the children's books that I don't like, and all of the bad messages that I think that they're giving my child, that like my kid's dad thinks that I'm like really over the top paranoid, but like I think I've got a point. I think I've got a point on all of them.
Yeah. Okay. So it was An Evil Guest by Gene Wolfe, and it's a noir science fiction mystery kind of thing, I think.
Okay, here's the thing. Sell this to me. I don't actually like noir. I'm a person that like, it's like everybody, a lot of people love that genre and I don't. Like, is that actually something I'm gonna like, or is it like it's like designed for people that love that genre?
I haven't read it, but I'm guessing you should avoid that one.
Okay.
But okay, I think he writes all sorts of stuff, so maybe just avoid that one and read the pirate book or something. Pirate Freedom. I don't know. I haven't read Pirate Freedom either.
Also, we've got Brian suggesting the Fred the Vampire Accountant.
Yep. Drew Hayes. Now, did Drew Hayes write the NPCs book that I loved?
Oh.
Did you read NPCs? I remember you talking about it, and it sounded fun. I haven't read it yet, but it was on my list for a long time. So maybe I'll. This sounds fun.
You know what, Brian? That actually sounds creepy. It's like, come over and peruse our collection of Gene Wolfe. It's like that feels a little bit like Cask of Amontillado. Like,
we're definitely
down
not
into our lair and show me.
Brick you into our library with books.
I probably will, though. That's the thing.
Okay, so what is the no to, Brian? No.
No. I'm not gonna trap you in our basement dungeon. No.
For the love of God, Montress. I remember watching Fall of the House of Usher and kept waiting for. I was like, oh, because the guy's name's Fortunato, and I'm like, oh no! Episode 1, I'm like, oh, I know what happens to that guy. It's not gonna be good.
For the love of God, Montress.
It's like, oh, his names are. I think the company is called Fortunato, but the guy in charge of it, I was like, oh boy, they wait to tell you exactly what happens, but I'm like, I bet I can guess. It was funny.
I have not watched that yet. Oh gosh, there's so much.
I don't know if you would like it.
Really?
It's got a lot of horror elements. I don't know how much.
I like Poe though, and Cask of Amontillado is my favorite Poe.
I loved it. It's probably my favorite of the Flanagan ones. It's a lot more pulpy than a lot of his other ones that are. It's still got some of the some moments of character introspection kind of stuff like his other ones do. But
what's that one?
What?
The one you're just recommending? The one that's Cask of Amontillado.
Oh, Fall of the House of Usher, the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just the Fall of the House of Usher.
No, there's a ton of Poe. So that's what I was gonna say is it does have some. You might want to check if you have any very specific trigger warning things. You might want to check because there's a few. There's this scene in one episode involving eyeballs that my friend was not able to watch.
Oh yeah.
So if you have any specific horror squicks, you might want to check on that. But I loved it. It's each episode is a reference. There's one called, and it's in the name. One is, I think one was called Goldbug. One is called The Pit and the Pendulum. One is called Mask of the Red Death, or some reference to Mask of the Red Death. So it's got and character names and tons of Poe references. I really love it. I thought it was great, but yeah, it's definitely got some. It's not all horror all the time, but there's a couple pretty gory scenes here and there, so just something to be aware of. But I love it. I think you like Poe, so I feel like you get a lot of the same references where I was like, I see what you did.
Brian says Drew Hayes did write NPCs, and that does make me more likely to try that one out because I like NPCs as a very fun book.
Yeah, I think I've had it on my.
Yeah. So the vampire.
I would recommend that one to you. I think you in particular would really, really like NPCs. I'm trying to remember, and that was a library one for me. Otherwise, I would give you my copy. But I'm like, no, I don't even have a copy to give.
I remember Stina talking about it.
Yeah, check. I think I listened to it on an audiobook, and if you have an Audible membership, check the ones that you can just kind of borrow.
Okay.
And also check Prime free reading or whatever it's called. Because sometimes, yeah.
I love the library. I have something that needs to go back to the library. Oh, I better find it. I don't remember what I got.
What you want to know what's intense is when you have a kid. And you go to
the library. I remembered. I'm still reading it. It's fine. Yeah, I bet that's a whole
No,
other.
'cause it's like kids, like they are like, because it's like free, right? It's like, so it's like, you know, like as an adult, normally I'm like, okay, I'm going to the library with something specific. Like kids are just like, no, I'm taking that and that and that, and like we're in like multiple districts, like between me and our dad's house, so it's like having to like be like remember what
What book
library
goes
is,
where?
and then like the books get stuck place. So I'm like, let's try to keep your library books together, and she's like, ha 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 ha, no.
The elm of chaos.
Oh yeah, just books everywhere, and I'm like, oh shit, which one? Which one? And they don't. This is okay. I know I'm an old person, but like, I miss having the cards, the stamped cards in the back of the book, right? Because then you knew exactly when it was due. And now I got to get an app to do that. And I don't want to have to look at an app. I want to see it right in the book when I'm thinking about it.
See,
And I know where my phone is.
I do holds most of the time because I don't want to go wandering through the stacks. Oh, she's got the old
Look at
school.
This is, I got it from
Wow.
Prospector. This is the end of the alphabet. So, by C.S. Richardson. I'm not actually liking it very much, but it's really short. So, I don't know if anyone has
Library fiction.
an
The end.
alias, but yeah, it's got
The
it's
old
got the
school.
old school
Yeah.
and a barcode because our library requires the barcode. But
Well, and you've got the little blue. That's what I was gonna say. Is like I mostly do hold pickups because I don't want to wander around, or it's it's in Old Town, but I don't want to go to Old Town. So
yeah,
bring it to Harmony for me. And then they have the little blue receipt with like your initials to pick at the pickup, and it has the date in it. So that way I've got the date in there. But yeah, it's
Oh, the one with the orc mercenary retires to start a coffee shop. Legends and lattes.
That's the one. Bookshelves and that's
I still haven't read that one.
And Bookshops and Bone Dust is the prequel.
I did the audiobook, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think the author like was/is an audiobook narrator.
Yeah.
So like he did a really good job with it, obviously.
Yeah, that one we listened to that across Kansas. That got us across Kansas.
I think I did to Gunnison and back, and that was most of the book.
Yeah.
So I really like that one. I've been meaning to read the prequel one, the Bookshops and
Bone Dust.
Bone Dust. Thank you.
Yeah, I like them both. They're great. Yeah. So let's see. Aliases are there undead creatures? I can't remember.
I don't think there were. Not in
Travis Baldry. Travis Baldry. Yeah.
I mean, there was like some weird sort of magic stuff, I think, but
yeah.
I don't remember that they were actually like undead creatures. There was the cool like phase shifting cat.
Ooh, yeah.
They're like weird cat companion who just lives at the shop.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I want to read it.
Oh,
who wrote Legends and Lattes?
Travis
Baldry.
Yeah.
Baldry?
Yeah.
Baldry.
Baldree.
Oh man, words. They mean things. I can read.
Yeah, I really like that one. That one was a very nice, like I listened to it driving back and forth from Gunnison to go camping with my sister one summer. So it's like summer driving, very like light, easy listen while driving, not a lot of dire things happening. Sometimes that's nice to have for driving, especially. It's like I don't want to have big emotions. I'm driving. I need something that'll interest me, not make me like upset and afraid.
Yep.
Yeah. I have to be careful because I cry a lot with books. If they're meant to be tearjerkers, I will cry. Even it's like I know you're manipulating the hell out of me, but I'm crying and I don't like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, usually police procedurals are good for that.
My dad used to do westerns a lot.
Does Baldur's Gate?
I mean, I know it has at least one vampire-ish adjacent character in it. I don't know if he's a vampire. I think he's like a thrall or something. I don't remember. I haven't played it yet. I've just heard a lot about it from a couple friends of mine. My one friend, I feel bad, has like, she's like, no one else knows anything about this game. I have no one to talk to. I'm like, I haven't played it, but you can talk to me about it all you want. So.
Oh yeah, so now for Zombiethon, the cat is running. One of the prompts for Zombiethon is to play a zombie game. And I was like, Pandemic? Does Pandemic count? but we have zombie dice, so yeah, we need to play zombie dice.
I don't know when I'm getting it, but I bought the DC undead zombie, what's it called? Deceased, whatever. It's like one of those battle map with minis games and cards, and you have different like teams and you do stuff. I don't know. I mostly bought it because it had a bunch of cool little figures that I wanted. I don't know how to play it, but I don't have it yet, so I can't play it anyway.
Have either of you guys ever played the board game Dead of Winter?
No. That sounds familiar.
Oh, it's so good. It's like a really like intense zombie scenario, like cooperative game, like hidden traitor kind of game. It's so good.
Shadowlands. Is that a video game? Or is that an RPG? I don't know.
I don't know.
That sounds like maybe a D&D thing.
One of the characters in my current party is undead-ish, sort of.
Oh,
it's complicated.
Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah?
It's complicated. He's kind of undead, though. He just burned all of his fingers off, so they're just kind of skeleton-y because he was firing too much lightning. We had to fight a big thing. Bad things happened. Not to me. I didn't get hit at all. I was fine. I'm invisible. Not really, but I'm very sneaky. Yeah. I'm trying to think of other... I mean, there's like... The zombie game I immediately thought of was Left 4 Dead, and I don't even know if either Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2, like, I don't even know if servers for those still exist.
Oh, wow.
It's so long since I've played them. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're no longer online. Those are like the classic zombie run and gun games, though.
Remember the big like corpse bloater thing in Left 4 Dead?
Boomers!
Yeah. That's it.
Boomers. I hate boomers. They're the worst. Spitters are worst, actually. Boomers suck. Spitters are worse.
That's my big takeaway from that game back in whatever 2011 or whatever, whenever that was. That was a long time ago too.
I used to have the hunter alert noise, the little piano pling pling pling, as my phone alarm or my phone alert when I was in college. So then it would go off while we're like sitting there, and my friend would like. Yeah, it was funny. It made me laugh.
Do the clicker noises.
After playing The Sims, I don't trust myself to play video games anymore. Because my Sims were living much better lives than I was.
Well, you get money
until
I like trapped them in the swimming pool and took the ladder away.
Video games, like our characters are living better. Like they don't listen. They don't have to deal with like health insurance bureaucracy. They can just have health potions or like med kits. Like they do not have to grind at work for a boss. Like you're just like mining for minerals or doing side quests or mercenary work. Like
you get cheat codes.
Yeah. Like
I remember Ultima Online where all you had to do is like, buy a fishing pole or make a fishing pole and sit by a stream for a little bit, and all of a sudden you'd have fish, and then you could go cook the fish. And it's like, you never had to actually leave town and fight anything. So, because if you did, and then it got to the point that
it does look like that, doesn't it? You're in a beautiful library, and I'm like in a kitchen with pipes just randomly sticking out of the wall at an area X.
That's my hockey mannequin, is what the pipes are.
That's great.
The PVC.
This is great. I love this.
It's for drying my hockey gear.
Keep your hand out of my split screen. Keep it. No, stop it. Stop it.
Breaking the illusion.
Stop doing that.
I'm breaking the
Stop doing it.
Yeah, that's for drying my hockey gear, so it's not totally disgusting.
That's actually really great.
It's awesome.
It's a great idea.
But yeah.
I need no joke. I need something like this by the door. I need a dry, not even a drying rack, just pipes. Just pipes. Perfect.
Yeah.
Better than a drying rack.
It's a little unstable sometimes. Oh, I thought you were gonna knock over the. I was like, don't knock that on me, please. He's also not super stable. He will fall over.
So it's like as soon as Brian said that, like I can't. I'm just like, I have to mess. I have to be a dick.
He said he was surprised when the first hand passed the barrier. Yeah, I didn't realize how like delineated it was.
That's great. It's a great
That's
effect.
just how the chairs
We can actually
fit.
believe that we're all in our own separate places. Like none of us got together today.
Well, let's see. We've been at this for about an hour and a half or so. So,
we've got bagels to eat. You know,
We
got bagels.
We
forgot our bagel. We were so excited to talk about books with people on the internet that we didn't eat our bagels. They've been sitting there waiting for their purpose in life to be fulfilled by getting into our tummies.
So, any final thoughts on anything or?
I'm like looking over my bookshelf, trying to think if I can think of any other good.
Yeah, I'm just like Nettle and Bone. Why didn't I think of Nettle and Bone earlier? It's like because animated skeleton. I love that dog.
What? Didn't we just read one that had a skeleton dog?
Yeah, Nettle and Bone.
Oh, that was Nettle and Bone.
That was Nettle and Bone.
I'm losing my mind. Yes. I thought that was a different one for some. I'm losing my brain. Yes, I do remember Bone Dog. Bone Dog was very cute.
Well, and T. Kingfisher. Oh my gosh, the What Moves the Dead. That's a good short one. I mean, it's myco horror, but I would say there's at least one undead character in that book.
I have Spirit World, which is it's a 6-issue, I think is all it was. Yeah, 6-issue miniseries that they did, starring the main character is non-binary Chinese character who's. Is that the John Constantine from Sandman? Yep, same Constantine. It also Constantine. It also features Constantine and Cassandra Cain, my beloved. So it's really cool. It's all so the main character, Xanthi, is sort of dead, sort of a ghost, but also exists in the real world. They're like half dead. So the whole thing is well, it's called Spirit World. Like the whole thing is involving like an afterlife and a whole thing with like Chinese spirits and stuff. I think this one's also relatively. It doesn't really reference major. There's like a couple bits with Cass that are sort of referencing some of her like backstory stuff, but not in a way that you would like not understand what's happening without having read it. It's cool. I love the art. It's got a lot of cool like Chinese demon things, spirits. The whole thing is yes, they're in the spirit world and have to get back. So if that counts as undead, that they're like ghosty monster things happening.
Cool. Yeah.
Alyssa Wong is the writer.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I like the artwork.
It's beautiful, and I love this character. They're pretty new. They were just introduced recently, like beginning of last year. So yeah, that's another. There's another undeady. Technically, that one is a DC one, but again, like I think it's relatively accessible in terms of it's a new character, and then they kind of explain what's going on. It's a relatively contained sort of setting. So they have I don't remember what they're called, the little paper things. They have little paper things that they will like destroy to turn into the real item. So like the big giant sword that they've got is like a paper token that then turns into like a real sword. which is really fun. There's a name for what those paper offering things are called, but I can't remember it right now. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun story.
Cool. Yeah, and so I'm wondering if there's anyone in the audience besides Brian who actually wants to say something or recommend a book or ask a question or anything. Because Brian has been kind of dominating the conversation, which is fine. I'm glad to have.
We appreciate his input.
Yes.
He's just trying to lure people down into his lair, his white,
his book basement.
Yeah,
it's my book basement.
That's true. That's very fair.
Oh, hello. I'm glad you could stop by. I have not seen you online lately. Well, oh no, you were there last week too. Yeah. So it's good to see you again.
Hi, person. I like your puppy dog. At least the part of the head I can see.
That's
sure
Edie.
it's very pettable.
That's Edie.
Hi. Oh, hey. How's it going? What's up?
Edie and Emma.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, Edie and Emma. Emma looks very soft and pettable.
I'm still trying to give away my books. Don't give away my books.
I think I still have a book of yours. I have the Necronomicon cooking book.
Oh,
because I think I borrowed it at Genreland, like right before the pandemic happened. And then we stopped doing in person. And then we stopped doing book club in person, and I keep meaning to like bring it to you, and then I keep forgetting the few times that I've seen
every once in a while. Show asks about doing it in person again. We should try that somehow. I don't know.
I have it.
You could come down to our lair.
It is safe in my possession. I just keep not giving it back to you. And at this point, it's been like 4 years, and I feel bad.
You know, it's being guarded by the bat truck up here. That's what's happening. Like,
okay.
I would be legitimately intimidated to get a book. I don't know if you want to show this.
All my bat characters. I don't know if there's a good way for me to do it.
Yeah, there's like a big Lego bat truck. It looks like it's like one of those like money guarding trucks.
It opens up. I don't know if I can do it from down here.
Armored vehicle.
Yeah, it's like an armored bank vehicle there, and it's guarding all the Rebecca Roan horse and various things up there. So I'm not touching that.
And my collection of all my Lego Bat Kids plus Plastic Man. Because I found a Plastic Man, so I bought him.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think it would be cool to do Genreland in person again, especially a show does not have much, like, she's not into tech. And in fact, she got so frustrated with her laptop that she literally threw it out the door and smashed it.
It's not going to make it run better.
I think she had given up on it. She was just done. And I'm not sure if I think she has replaced it, but I don't know. I don't know how that's working out. But yeah, it'd be cool to do that. But scheduling is so hard. I mean, just getting this together was
busy adult lives. I keep meaning to read stuff for Genreland, and then I get to the end of the month and I'm like, crap. I didn't read anything that fits this.
Well, next month is cephalopods and cetaceans, so I think
that's your jam right there.
I have so many cephalopod books. Surely one of them I can find time to.
You're done. You're covered. You're covered then for that.
Yeah, and I still haven't finished A Mountain. Was it A Mountain in the Sea?
Mountain in the Sea. Yep, that counts.
The mountain here. The Mountain in the Sea.
I was going to ask if you felt like that was worth, because I didn't get that far into it for this month, and May is the month I usually can't make book club, so.
I wasn't totally into it.
And of course, Brian says Children of Ruin.
Yep.
Children of Ruin. Yep.
That's a good one.
Up here too, somewhere. There it is, right there.
So you weren't really into the Mountain in the Sea.
Yeah, part of it is the thing where they were like, it's a thriller and it's not a thriller. And it's a lot of people characters discussing like the nature of consciousness and humanity and, this kind of philosophical, sort of not debate, but like discussion of what makes people people and how do you, they've got like a robot character and they've got the cephalopod characters and like AI and stuff and trying to like what makes us human, and it's not really my jam. Some of the other people in our book club really enjoyed it, and I think if you are interested in reading what is basically the author taking the chance to elaborate on his thoughts on this, then it's probably worth it. But if you're looking for like a plot heavy thriller story, not a lot happens.
Oh.
It's a lot of like discussion stuff. There's some interesting ideas in it. I don't know if I would have finished it if it wasn't for book club. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna give it another go. I didn't get very far in at all because I didn't get the book very long before book club. So
yeah,
and then
and it, like
that's why I skipped. It's like
it got some very high ratings in book club, so like some people
okay.
really enjoyed it. So, but I think that's kind of the main thrust of it is discussions of the nature of consciousness and what makes a human. So how much you'll enjoy it probably depends on how much you want to engage with that. I would say if that sounds interesting, you'll probably enjoy it. If that sounds super boring, then there's not a lot else going on. So
yeah, and I should probably put a link to Genreland down in the description so that if you're watching this and you're like, Genreland, what's that? It is essentially it started off as a real, in real life book club. My friend Jules was a library assistant at the local library, and they were one year, they did a year-long Genreland game. And each month you had to read a book from a different genre, and they had like a little game board and everything. And so Jules was like, she invited some of her friends over and said, oh, let's do this. And, we can talk about the books we read. So it's sort of like what the library has now is the BYO book club. Mm-hmm. And so it's sort of the same concept. There's a monthly theme and everyone comes and talks about a book on that theme. So it's that same sort of thing. But they didn't do it again the next year. So we just made up our own monthly themes and kept it going. And then the pandemic happened. Yeah. So it's like, okay. So I moved it to Goodreads. So now it is a Goodreads group. And usually if I'm on the ball sometime around November, I'll start, asking for suggestions for the next year's topics. But it's fun. It's a small group, but and it's open to the public, so you don't have to like answer a questionnaire or whatever to get in. Like on some Facebook groups, it's like, and the main rule is just play nice, don't be mean, don't do anything that will get us in trouble. Yeah, but it's on Goodreads, not Facebook. So
or Bezos, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who. I think they have one or two actual employees at Goodreads still. Maybe, I don't know. But
I'm probably gonna have to sign off. I was not planning to, but I'm stuck going into work tonight. Pain, so.
Yeah, So we're coming up on 2 hours here. So this has been absolutely
so much book talk.
And I mean, I could just talk with you all day, and it's like, and it's nice having other people chime in. And so if you're watching this on replay, chime in the comments, and we can have conversations going there too. But thank you so much for being here with me, and thank you for everyone who hung out with us and listened to us talk about books and movies and video games and everything. and corpse flowers. Corpse flowers.
And corpse flowers.
Yeah.
Definitely on theme.
The best.
But anyway, thank you so much, and hope to have you back again soon. Oh, wait. I completely missed Children of Ruin not having a plot. No, that wasn't Children of Ruin. That was the
Mountain in the Sea.
Yeah.
No.
Children of Ruin has a plot. It definitely has a plot. Stuff happens.
Yeah.
Very, very, very exciting things happen.
Yeah. So, yeah, The Mountain in the Sea is a completely different book.
Yeah.
So
also featuring octopi, but
and a little bit of philosophical rambling, but not that much. More like how difficult it really would be to communicate with a different species, like that evolved. Like, it would not be anything like the movies, and it would be just crap tons of having to figure out how to like communicate in colors and exciting.
Oh yeah. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much, and hope to have you back again soon sometime if we can ever get scheduling figured out again. It's like maybe the next bank holiday. I don't know.
Bank holiday.
Whenever that is. 4th of July. Actually, I won't be here 4th of July. As long as it's not The Unbearable Lightness of Being. Oh my god, I hated that book so much. I was like,
we'll watch tons of World War II books.
That wasn't World War II. That was, what was that? Prague Spring something. I don't know. Oh god, it was so boring. There was like one paragraph about.
Oh no, I'm thinking All the Light We Cannot See. Sorry.
Oh, I love that book.
Never mind. Okay.
I love that one. But
I remember you liked that one, but you were sick of books about World War II. Like,
yeah, well, it's like I was in so many book clubs that kept and the publishing industry was just inundating, especially the book club field, with World War II stories. And I'm like, and some of them were actually really good books, but it's just like, can we just like not be like fighting Nazis all the time? I mean, we get that in real life all the time. So.
I read the blurb for The Unbearable Lightness of Being, and it sounds like a book I would hate.
Yeah. There was like one interesting paragraph about tombstones, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it went back to just, I don't know what it was about. And it's like, there was a dog, and even the dog was boring.
It sounds aggressively not for me.
Yeah.
Before I go, perhaps this is a good note to add. A better thing to consume than The Unbearable Lightness of Being is The Unbearable Weight of Mass Talents with Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal.
It's a great movie.
Yep.
Okay, well, I will let you go. And yeah, I'm sorry you have to go to work, but
it's dumb, but it must be done.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very fun. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you, everybody, for coming.